Welcome back to the Power of Manifestation. My name is Andrea Miller, and I am so excited to host this episode with the one and only Marisa Peer. Marisa is genuinely one of the most inspirational voices in personal transformation, manifestation, and more. Our session is called Manifest Like a Baddie. Unlock confidence, love, health, and abundance fast with RTT. Marisa is a globally acclaimed therapist, bestselling author, and the creator of Rapid Transformational Therapy, RTT, which is a multi-award-winning breakthrough method blending hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, neuroscience, and more, designed for rapid and lasting change. Over 3 decades, Marisa's supported royalty, CEOs, athletes, and creatives, and now trains thousands of RTT therapists worldwide, creating a ripple effect of transformation. Marisa, welcome to the Power of Transformation, Power of Manifestation. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Of course. I would love to kick off with understanding what RTT is and why it's so effective. Will you just walk us through what it is and why or how it differs from traditional therapy?
Yeah, so RTT stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. It's different because it's rapid, because most therapists will tell you therapy should be long and it involves years of forming a relationship. And I never quite understood that, because if you lost your tooth or you broke your leg, you wouldn't go to ER and go, hey, my tooth's fallen out and we need a relationship for at least a year before I can get better. You know, if you're in ER, you wouldn't say to the doctor, hold on a minute, I need a relationship. You know, I got run over 2.5 years ago, and it wasn't my fault. It was in a pedestrian street of all things. And I was lying in the road waiting to hear this. I knew when I heard the siren, it would be okay. And finally, this guy turned up in an ambulance. And I didn't say to him, hang on a minute, we need a relate. I just said, put that stuff in my arm, put that stuff on my face, get me out of pain, because it was pretty painful. And he did. So I remember thinking, that's this relationship thing. While I understand it, it's not necessarily right. You don't need a relationship. You need faith and trust. We created a very fast therapy where you trust the therapist. You know they're good. The training is outstanding. And they do something which every therapist should do. They find the pattern, understand the pattern, and change the pattern all in the session. They don't say, well, spend a year finding it, another year understanding it, and then finally we might get to change. They're going to turn up, and what you see in the ER, you turn up with pain and go, hey, take me out of pain. And if you're in the kind of pain that's the emotional pain because you can't find love, or you self-sabotage, or the physical pain of having tension headaches or irritable bowel, because so many diseases that we now know are caused by diseased thinking. Up to 80% of our illnesses are not diseased organs, they're diseased thinking. So you don't need a relationship. You need someone good that can find the pattern, understand it, and change it all at once. And that's what we do very effectively. And it's an amazing thing. It works really well.
I mean, amen. And I feel like you're being generous with, being in a relationship with a traditional therapist for a year. I think a lot of people watching are like, wait, I've been on in 5 years and 10 years and decades.
And 20. And that's not even their fault, because they're taught that that's the right method. You know, most therapists are very good people, but they're taught, therapy was invented in the 50s. Women especially had time. They were at home. They had time to go and talk about how bored they were. But now we live in a very fast world. We don't have time. Therapist was invented by a man for women, basically. And now we have women therapists seeing males, and we have to say that's just old stuff. It wasn't taking in how we live today, and that we haven't got time to turn up every Tuesday at 4 for the next 5 years. It's very expensive and it's very time consuming. And when you're in pain, you want to be out of pain like that, whatever kind of pain it is. Our clients have one request. Can you get me out of pain? I should be yes, right now, and for good.
Oh, I mean, amen to that. And that is just, I feel like such a ray of hope in what feels like an increasingly dark world where change is available fast. That is so empowering to hear. But let's rewind a little bit as it relates to, so somebody walks in, they're in pain, things are going wrong in their lives, and you say, that the therapist will help them identify that pattern. Can you just go a little bit more deeply? And crucially, do people need to do RTT with the therapist, or can they do RTT on their own?
Pretty much with a therapist. I'll give you a good example. I met a girl called Carolyn a couple of years ago in one of my classes, and she had such severe OCD. She had to get showered in a particular way many times a day. The teeth cleaning was a 20-minute ritual. If it went wrong, she'd do it again and again and again. So, of course, she was a bit late for class and rather stressed. I said, well, let me fix that for you. So RTT looks, no one is born, no baby says, oh my God, the teddies aren't straight. I'm so stressed because my Lego bricks are not lined up. Babies can live in chaos. I'm staying with my daughter's baby today, and the house has got toys everywhere. So OCD is not born, it's acquired. And what happens is when you can't control in here, you try to control out there. All the cushions must have a karate chop. Every fork must be the same. So I knew it was acquired. And all we have to do is one thing, ask the brain, when did this begin? What happened to you to give you OCD? And she went back to some very interesting scenes. She was an interesting case. The mother had multiple children with multiple men, a completely crazy house. She was put into care. She went to live with a grandmother. She came back, went into another foster home, came back. And the whole childhood was really dysfunctional. And her brain began to, as if she had order, her room was the only thing she could have order in. Her room, her little bedside table, her little school bag. And so she formed a belief, I can't control anything but this little section of the house that's mine. And that worked very well. You know, it's like kids saying, if I don't tread on the pavement cracks, I'll be okay. If I line up all my books, nothing bad will happen. So that made sense. The thing is that once the brain locks onto something as being an effective benefit for it, it doesn't know how to undo it. Rather like people who can't get pregnant because at 16 they were terrified they were pregnant. Oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. So we found the pattern, this chaotic, dysfunctional household, this poor child who created order just in her school bag and a corner of her room. And then we understood it because it made perfect sense when you're 11 or 12 and you have no control, so you can try to control something. And then we rationalized the brain and said, look, she doesn't live in that house. She lives in Utah. She's got a husband. She's got a child. She's got a career. It's redundant. And so it's all eyes. You kind of investigate what happened like a good detective. You investigate something. You interpret the information that the brain comes up with. You interrupt it and say, well, that made sense then, but not now. And then you install a brand new belief. You love being normal. You quite like a bit of mess. Your kids are happy. And she said, it was so funny. The next day I got up, I was showering and a voice said, that's enough now. And I stepped out of the shower after 2 minutes and thought, wow. And she said, it's never come back. But the funniest thing about that, I mean, it's wonderful to see how she changed. She cleans her teeth like was that about a year later, I was having lunch with a doctor and he said, you know, since COVID, I've got so many clients with OCD. COVID has really made OCD blow up. He said, and I can fix everybody. It just takes a year. 50 sessions is all I need. And I thought, shall I send him the video? I thought, actually, no, I shouldn't send it to him because I think I'm showing off. But 50 sessions a whole year. You don't need to draw this out. The brain is very patterned. The brain likes patterns. And you can give it new patterns, just like a baby with a comfort blanket or a child who likes everything lined up because it makes them feel secure. That's a pattern. But often the brain keeps a pattern. So the saddest thing, we get a pattern of going, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. You know, our greatest pain comes from the stories we tell ourselves and the patterns we create in order to deal with that story. But you can change patterns, just like we can say, you know, my computer's got a bug. It's gone a bit weird, but some great person came in, fixed the bug, upgraded the whole thing, and now it's perfect. But we have bugs in our thinking, and just like a great tech person, we can upgrade we're so busy upgrading our software. We've got to upgrade this software and say, well, yeah, that was then, you know. I worked with a girl, it was so interesting, who could not stand noise. She couldn't even stand the sound of her husband breathing. They slept in different rooms, and she never went to the beach or even a department, or even Ralph's Market. And when she was little, her father came home from Vietnam, would walk around at night with his gun cocked, saying he was going to kill everybody because he was having PTSD. And what she learned as a child lying in bed, hearing the father pacing around with a gun, was that You're only safe when it's completely silent. When he's gone to sleep and the house is silent, I'm safe. So any noise, going to the cinema, going to the store, made her highly on edge. But you can reason with her and go, here's a child of 8. She had no other option. But your dad is dead. You're not that child. You've got your own husband, your own kids. And she said, I went straight out and got a dog. And thought, I've always wanted a dog. And now when it barks, it's just doing its job. And sounds don't bother me. In fact, I like them. And I'm living a life. I've gone to the cinema. I've gone to the beach. I've taken my kids out, which we never did. So it's the ability to find something, understand it, but get the brain to change it. We all have patterns. When I was a kid, my mum gave me cookies after school. And now at 4 o'clock, I have to eat cookies. Or when my dad visits, I got ice cream. And now whenever I'm sad, I want an ice cream. So our job is to find it, understand it, change it.
But how, so I'm tracking with you and understanding those patterns. And I want to get into the I Am Enough movement that you created. But before we get into that, because it feels like that is at the core of most, if not all, discontent. But when somebody understands their pattern, in the case of the woman who was afraid of noise, how does she understands the pattern, but how does she change it? And I'd love for you to talk about, are we talking about tapping into our subconscious mind, which is the 95, according to neuroscientists, the 95% that's running the show? Because I think a lot of us are conscious of what's holding us back. But how do we, and it's like, okay, I'm conscious of this, but I'm still having a hard time convincing myself or changing.
Because our alcoholics will say, I know why I drink. People say, I know why I binge. I know why every Sunday I go mad with Ben and Jerry's, or I know why when I've had a bad day, I come home and eat a whole sleeve of cookies. So knowing it is not enough. But knowing in hypnosis is very different, because you get different messages. What you think you know is often not what you know. But again, with alcoholics who say, I know why I drink, my dad drunk, I'm from a family of alcoholics or whatever, often that isn't quite the case. You would go back and have a look and something very different turns up. But it's the ability to go into the subconscious mind and reason with it, because the subconscious mind doesn't really think. It just feels. The conscious mind thinks, but the subconscious feels. It's a feeling mind, and the thing is, emotional will defeat logic every single time. So if you go into the emotional brain, you can give it a different idea. Yes, you were eating all this stuff to please your mother, but now she's not here. And even if she was, you can please yourself. You don't need to finish everything that's on your plate. You don't need to drink so you feel bonded to your family. So it's negotiating with the subconscious mind. I'll give you an example. I worked with somebody who told me that his mother, when he was very little, said, darling, I should never have had you. I'm so intelligent. I can't deal with small children. I should never have had children. And don't ask me to play with you because I find it all so boring. So that obviously was a very tragic thing. He had a mother who spent her life telling him she was so intelligent she shouldn't have children. Of course, when I got to him, I said, well, it doesn't sound very smart to me, because she had 2. You think if the first one was a disorder, why would she have another one? She's so goddamn intelligent. Why do it a second time? That's not the mark of intelligence. But what he was doing was trying to find a super intelligent woman to love him, a super smart investment banker, and he owned a nightclub, so they weren't too keen on him. And I told him, I said, listen, your cure is not finding someone like her, it's finding someone nothing like her. So you kind of excite the imagination. Someone nothing like your mother is exciting and thrilling and compelling. And you tell him, when you're in your club, if you find a woman who's nothing like your mother, that's your woman. If someone thinks you're super smart, but if you have to prove it, that's not your person. He said, I heard that voice in my head. He said, I was really intrigued because I always looked for someone just like her. And I purposely thought, no, that's that pain, that's not where pleasure is, that's where pain is. And the brain went somewhere else, and he found someone nothing like his mother, married her. I went to the wedding. It was a lovely thing. But it involves explaining something to the brain, very simple. Your happiness is not in finding someone like your mother, in finding someone nothing like her, and then giving them images and pictures to follow of what this person might be like, and how he would know that she was someone he should pursue, and how he would know someone was not to be pursued. So you give them a new idea, you wire it in and code it in, you make it quite enthusiastic and thrilling and exciting, and then they leave, and the brain has another instruction. Oh, I'm attracted to a woman who's nothing like my mother, because his wiring says I'm attracted to a woman who's exactly like her. And happiness is never in marrying your mother anyway. I mean, who wants to marry their mum? Even if she was an angel, you can't do that. So you give the brain a new direction, and you make it compelling and exciting and very, very accessible. And then the clients go off and do something very different. But you do make a recording for them. And they do need to play that for about at least 10 days, because the thing about the brain is a couple of things. It learns by repetition. It loves what is familiar and wishes to go back there. So if you've never been praised and always been criticized, and someone praised you, go, oh, no, that's not true. It's rubbish. You actually add in the criticism that's familiar. So you've got to train the brain to like something new, because if the brain likes what's familiar, which it really does, our job is to make good stuff, like praise, compliment. So, and the brain is heavily patterned. It loves repeating what it knows in order to change the ending. But life's too short to do anything. We've got to change the beginning. Stop looking for a critical man who reminds you of your dad, and find a lovely, kind, gorgeous man who doesn't remind you of your dad at all. So we do those three things. We find out what's familiar, we change the pattern, and we get clients to change the beginning and not the ending.
Oh, I love that. Well, I would love for you to walk me through an exercise so people can see how RTT works, but I'd love just to pause on that and ask you a few more questions, and then I'd love to get there. Does that sound okay?
Sure, sounds great.
Yeah, and just even what you were talking about, this whole business of listening to the recording for 10 days, and this idea that while you can achieve dramatic outcomes in one session, to really reinforce it and lock in that lasting change is it's a little bit more than just one. Yeah. Okay, so I'd love to talk about the power of self-worth and confidence. It's something that you have talked about a lot. What is the I Am Enough movement, and why is that so important in the work that you do?
It's so important because I hadn't been a therapist for very long at all, and I began to see a pattern. Almost all my clients, at least 80%, had a belief: I'm not enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not cute enough. There's so many ways to not feel enough. And I realized that the common issue they struggled with is not enoughness. And if that was the common issue, surely the answer would be to switch that to I am enough. Because it's a bit like a ladder. You think a thought, I'm not enough. That thought, I'm not enough, affects your feelings. You feel sad and worthless and blocked and frustrated. And that feeling affects your behavior. So you don't take risks, and you might self-sabotage. But if you took out that answer, I am enough, then you feel better. You feel brave and risk-taking and confident and self-assured, and you act differently. So the law of behavior says everything begins with a thought. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions, which you justify with a thought. So when we're very little, if our parents, for whatever reason, don't appear to love us, the child can't go, oh, my dad's doing 2 jobs to pay the bills, and my mum's doing 3 jobs. All they can think of is, my dad is always at work. I guess he likes work more than me. My mother's never here. Wherever she is, she prefers being with me. So when a parent doesn't appear to meet a child's need, the child never stops loving the parent. They immediately stop loving them. So I think, oh, people are mean to me. I guess I'm not. I'm nice to you and you're horrible to me. I guess I'm not enough. So we buy into not enoughness very early on. And the problem is the brain doesn't know how to reverse that. So the I'm Enough movement was created to reverse this pattern of not enough. If you look at Kate Spade, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Michael Jackson, and indeed George Michael, there it is over and over again. Talent, which means nothing if you don't have a belief that you're worth it. You can have all the love and gifts and beauty and what. If you don't think you're enough, you haven't got a thing. So I wanted to put the I'm enoughness back, and we started putting it into schools. I have these bracelets that I'm enough. I have it all over my house in artwork. We put it into a lot of schools, and we give children recordings, and they make little plaques for their desks that I'm enough. And they understand that if they can just say it over and over again, if I have dry skin and I put balm on my skin, it's going to nourish it. But words are balm for a very dry soul. And so I'm enough is one of the most amazing. You're just saying it every day. Because again, you're back to that ladder. I'm enough. I feel good. I take action. I'm not enough. I feel terrible. I don't take any action at all. The action is no action. So we're always working to change thoughts. The I'm enough movement gives people badges and bracelets and things they can stick on their mirror. And we have books and audios. And every school I put it in says, bullying seems to just disappear when the kids, and we've actually got a program for the bullies, because no bully says, well, I'm having a bully says, I'm not enough. And if you feel not enough, at least I feel equal now rather than inadequate. So it's a big message we're putting everywhere, and it's making such a difference. I'm so proud of it.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of it. I love this so much, Marisa. And honestly, my heart feels so full listening to you and feeling this so powerfully from you. And you nailed it a few moments ago when you said, I think you said at least 80% of your clients have that feeling of not being enough. And I just want people watching and listening to know you're in the majority, like vast majority, if you don't feel enough. Sorry?
Marilyn Monroe said that. She said, when someone said to Marilyn, why do you keep turning up sewn into those dresses, no underwear, dancing? And she said, well, I never belonged to anyone in my whole life. But you know what? I need the whole world to love me, because no one ever has. And I don't think anyone ever will. So one person wasn't enough for her because she felt so unlovable. If you listen to Amy Winehouse's songs, I told you I was trouble. Love is a losing game. I'm no good. Then you see it, that belief that, wow, I'm not enough. And a lot of people who are not enough are drawn to fame with the belief that fame will give it to them, but it doesn't. Not only does not give it to you, a bit like Britney Spears, the whole world now sees, oh, wow, you really have some problems here. So it's worse, actually, because fame magnifies your not enoughness. But the truth is, it's not true. You're enough. No baby says, gosh, I've got triple knees down here and milk spots. I seem to have a double chin. And my eyes are going in the wrong direction. I've got no hair. They think they're the most gorgeous thing in the whole world. So we have to ask ourselves, when did we buy into it? When and why? And can we change it? And we change it by simply saying, I'm enough, over and over and over again. You can put it on your screensaver. You can write it on your fridge. You can write it on your T-shirt. Imagine if your passwords all had, in a secure way, I'm enough. You had to type it out every day to open your phone. Then by repetition, it starts. First of all, your brain goes, oh, that I'm enoughness. You keep doing that. But eventually, you run out of every objection. You go, well, you say it so much, it must be true. And then it starts to make a profound impact on you, because, of course, you're enough. How could you not be enough? And whoever told you that wasn't even true.
Yeah, the subtle, it feels like the subtle osmosis that so many of us, at least 80% of us, get from our parents, from the generations before us. And I do want to come back to alcoholism and addiction and some of these maladies that RTT treats that are so pernicious. But I want to stay for a moment on this I am enough, rewinding actually to what you were saying about people like Whitney Houston and Britney Spears and Marilyn Monroe who didn't feel enough and sought fame. It reminds me of this great video I think a lot of us have seen with Jim Carrey saying, I wish everybody would become famous and wealthy, and then they would realize Like, that's not the answer.
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion.
No, of course not. But we think it is. You know, if it was, you wouldn't have all these supermodels and people with $1 billion living on yachts who are miserable. Obviously, I mean, look at Heath Ledger, that beautiful, beautiful, talented, gorgeous man. I mean, obviously, if looks made you feel enough, we wouldn't have people who are gorgeous who want to kill themselves. If money made you enough, we wouldn't have the same thing. And even talent doesn't make you feel enough, because often when it's so easy, you think, well, I didn't even earn this. It was just so easy for me. So you can't get it by becoming famous or wealthy or having surgery to look more beautiful. You can only get it inside saying, I've always been enough. I always will be. Because if you state it enough, it becomes what I call a statement of truth.
Well, I mean, amazing. Let me just add one more quick thing that I think a lot of us you were talking about seeking fame and so forth, and keeping it real. I find myself every now and then getting ready to post something on social media. And I'm keeping it real. I have to say, like, why am I posting this? Am I trying to impress people? Am I trying to be liked? Right. And it has been a great, just a great way for me to tell the truth to myself. And I've just decided, like, I am not here to be liked. I am not here to please. I am not here to impress people. And it has been such a relief. And I say all this because I'll like, for example, like I'm relatively modest. I'm not one to, like any of these things in the camera. And I see all these other women particularly, and it's like, oh, like they're just showing off how beautiful they look and so forth. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with feeling and looking beautiful. But I have wondered at times, it's like, I'm not necessarily all that comfortable doing that. And it's like, oh, is it that I don't want to show off, right? I mean, it feels like there is a number of people using social media as a way to get that kind of attention. And I've really tried to get honest with myself about what that means to me. And I would, love, since, so many people are on social media, what your thoughts are they trying to use social media, the likes and, FOMO and so forth to try to prove that they're enough versus actually feeling it.
Yeah, because it's rather hollow. You might have 5,000 friends, but who's turning up with soup when you got a bad cold? Who's coming to look after your kid when you're sick for the day? Not one of those followers, I can promise you. So we get followers because we think, oh, if everybody likes me, I'll feel better. But you see, if you're looking for it out there, it's not out there, it's in here. You have to spend time going, I like myself. I'm my biggest fan. I like myself. If you can say every day, I like myself, I believe in myself, I'm significant, and I've got something that will give you more joy than having 1 billion followers. I mean, I know someone who's got 13 million followers. She bought all of them, and it's all so fake. And it's like, but what is the point of that? What are you trying to say? Everybody likes me. But you don't like you because you wouldn't have bought all those followers if you did. So instead of saying everyone likes me, try saying, I like me. I really like me. I'm a good person. I've got a great heart. I've got a gift. I'm here for a reason. And I like myself a lot. Because that's the thing that will give you peace and joy, becoming your own best friend. If you put the energy into trying to make someone else like you, into liking yourself, if you could fall in love with yourself, there's a lifelong romance. Nothing has to be injected in or snipped off or dyed or waxed. No epilation is required. I mean, you can still do that for yourself. But when you fall in love with yourself, there's a lifelong romance. And your birthday's never forgotten. You're celebrated every day. Because if you say to someone else, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? They go, yeah. And then they go, actually, no. When you give someone else the power to make you feel good enough, they also have the power to stop, to remove that, to get sick, to die, to things happen. But when you do it yourself, when you say, I have agency over how I feel about me, no one else, it's down to me and me alone to say I like myself. Because confidence is very sexy. You could look amazing. I mean, we can look at someone like Kim Kardashian, who is beautiful, but, every relationship seems to have not worked. I know she's training in law now, which I think is a beautiful thing because it makes her feel better, but looks so temporary. As nice as it is to look good, it doesn't last. One day it all goes, and then what have you got left? Nothing at all. I know working with a client who told me that she was so beautiful, she walked into a restaurant and the drummer dropped his drumsticks. And she was used to that, but the day nobody looked at her, she went home and took an overdose because she didn't know who she was. When people stopped turning their heads in a restaurant, it was like, oh, well, I have no value anymore. And that's not true. Your value is your kindness, your heart. What we look like is the wrapping. It comes and then sadly it goes, but maybe it goes because we get wisdom instead. But I think the answer is like yourself. Do not say to someone else, do you like me? Do I look okay? Can you rate me out of 10? Am I good enough? Say, I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm great, just the way I am. Because it's giving it to someone else. You give all your power away when you say, am I okay? Do I look okay? Do you like this? And they go, no. And you go, oh, I better change then. You go, well, I like it. I'm doing this for me, not for you. So all the likes in the world, it's a hollow victory. The number one like you need is to truly, deeply like and respect yourself, honor yourself, fall in love with yourself, and the whole world will join you, because when you elevate your sense of self-worth and self-image and self-esteem, the world joins you at that level. When you diminish it, they join you down there. So it's no one else's job, it's your job. And you can do it fantastically. Just say, I like myself. I'm a great person. Look at me. I'm kind of got a beautiful heart. Say it every day. And you'll find very quickly you start to believe it. And then the whole world will join you at that elevated level. And now you're winning because you've got the most important likes of all. You like yourself.
Marisa, you make it sound so freaking easy.
It's because it is easy. It's so easy.
I want to give you like the big hugs and high fives. It really, yeah, and it helps. I mean, you exude love and confidence and grace, and so I've got the great benefit of being able to, be across from you in the screen and to feel that, and it just makes so much freaking sense, right? That it's like to just keep saying that. But let me ask you this: do you recommend people saying it in the mirror? Do you recommend them writing it down, saying it out loud? I'd love just to get a little more detailed. And are we talking like saying it 100? Like I was actually listening to something with Louise Hayes the other day, and she was like, say something 500 times in a day. I'm like, 500 times? No, holy smokes, that's a lot. No. That's going to overwhelm me.
Don't make anything work. Make it easy. So when you're having a shower, what else are you going to say? I love the smell of this body wash. You might as well do it then. The shower's a great place. The water's coming down. It's quite meditative. It's quite refreshing. So in your shower, go, I like myself. I like myself. I matter. I'm significant. I'm enough. I'm lovable. Say those 5 things. Or just I like myself. So say it in the shower. Maybe when you're cleaning your teeth and they go, look at you. You're a good person. And then when you're waiting for the kettle to boil or the coffee or the toaster to pop, do it then. So just getting a ritual, saying it first thing in the morning and last thing at night, and then write it on your fridge, write it on your mirror where you see yourself doing your hair or makeup, put it on your screensaver, and put it on your phone alert. So try and say it pings with, you really like yourself, or I really love myself. And that's all you have to do. So say it morning and night, just a few times in the shower. I like myself. I'm enough. I matter. I'm a good person. I'm lovable. Something like that. Well, once in the morning, once in the evening, put it on your phone alerts, write it on your fridge, and maybe put it into your screensaver. And that's all you do. You see, when it has to be 500 times, it's such hard work that you lose.
Oh my God, it's stressful. I get stressed even thinking about it.
I know. It's like I used to take, people who I remember one of my clients saying she took 100 vitamins a day. I'm like, oh my God, how could she do that? It's so hard. I start to dread it. And I said, well, try and have just 6. Because the minute something becomes work, I've got to take 100 vitamins. I've got to chant 100 times. I've got to do this. It's not fun. It's got to be easy. It's got to be simple. And saying I'm enough when you're in the shower is the simplest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. There are going to be some people who are listening and watching this saying, but I don't believe it. And there's this I think common perception in manifestation that if you say something you don't believe, then you're really confusing your nervous system or your subconscious. So for people who are like, I don't like myself, I don't feel enough, what do you say to them?
I think you should lie, cheat, and steal every day. I believe in lying to the brain, cheating fear, and stealing back the confidence you're born with. If I said to you now, put your hand on your stomach, put your hand on your stomach. Most people are going to put their hand above their navel. That's your intestines. Your stomach is below the navel. The fact that you don't know where it is doesn't mean it doesn't work. So we can't even identify parts of our body, but they still work. But let's do a little thing. Everyone close their eyes and just put your hand in front of your nose and mouth. And simply imagine you're holding half of a big, fat, gorgeous, juicy lemon in your hand. And as you breathe in, you can breathe in that gorgeous lemon smell. And I want you to quite literally, with your eyes closed, squeeze that lemon. So you imagine lemon drops coming onto the surface. And I want you to stick out your tongue and lick off those drops of lemon. And now I want you to open your mouth and squeeze all that lemon into your mouth and start eating. I want you to suck all the juice out of that lemon and swirl it around your mouth. I want you to bite into every lemon segment so your taste buds pucker and swell as you eat that lemon and find your taste buds are swelling. You're pumping out saliva as you eat that entire lemon, biting into the flesh, sucking out the juice, swirling it around, feeling it on your tongue. And now open your eyes. And here's a question. Did you notice that you were making saliva? Did you notice that you were making saliva?
I mean, eventually, yeah.
So was there a lemon? Was there a
No.
lemon? I mean, the answer is yes and no. You were absolutely correct. Yeah. There was no lemon. But also there was a lemon. Your mind believed your mind didn't go, this is stupid. And even if it did, it didn't matter. You still made the saliva. Even though you knew there was no lemon, it was just a thought. Your mind's job is to make every thought you think real. If I think of something sad, my eyes will fill up with tears. If I think of something embarrassing, I'll go bright red. Think of food, my stomach will rumble. And for a man, if you think about sex, guess what? You get an erection. And it's not even real. And you think of a lemon and you start to pump out saliva because your mind's job is to make every thought you think real. That's what the placebo is. I think this drug's going to work. Wow, it worked. Then I found out it wasn't even real at all. So if your mind's job is to make your thoughts real, then what do you think your job is? To think better thoughts all the time. So saying, I don't think I'm enough, it's like saying, I know I'm going to get sick. I knew I'd get a cold. I knew that wouldn't. I knew I'd gain weight the minute I ate that. We make our thoughts real. So the placebo says that whatever you think of a drug will affect you more than what's in the drug. Your thinking is more powerful than actually a drug. But don't worry about believing it. Just say it, say it, say it, say it. I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. And your mind goes, oh, here you go again with that stuff. And eventually you'll think, you know what? Actually, I am enough. It's sunk in. Because the brain isn't filtering, is this right or wrong? Is it good or bad? Is it beneficial or not? It's just sinking in. Like butter on, if you put hot butter onto warm toast, it goes in. The toast can't reject it. But guess what? If you put fly spray and contact lens solutions on it, that will go in too. So just like the toast can't reject the oil, your mind can't reject thoughts. They all go in. The thing is, are you having good thoughts or bad thoughts? Can you flip a thought? Can you say, I don't think I'm enough, but why don't I just say it for a month anyway? What have I got to lose? Nothing, actually, except your low self-esteem. Why not say it and then start to state it and affirm and embody it? Because you know what? It will become true. And, it's such an insidious thing, not enough. I've worked with thousands of alcoholics, drug addicts. I've never met one ever who thought they're enough. So when you think you're not enough, you need more food, more alcohol, more drugs, more shopping, more followers. When you know you're enough, you go, well, that's all lovely, but I don't need to buy more cushions. I've got 10 pairs of shoes. I don't need 11. You still like stuff, but you don't feel it's not controlling you, getting the likes, getting the stuff, needing more. Because when you know you're enough, You don't need more. When you think you're not enough, you're never going to find enough.
I mean, honestly, Marisa, it is so exciting listening to you. It makes so much sense. And I just love genuinely how simple this is. Guys, if there's any resistance whatsoever, please just do it. Just give yourself the gift, just as an experiment. Prove Marisa wrong. Do it every day for a month. And like I'm saying that sarcastically, of course.
Someone came on to it. I bought your course to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove her wrong. And I was amazed that within 2 weeks I couldn't prove you wrong at all.
Exactly. But I want to come back to the it's a topic near and dear to my heart. It's a person that comes from a family with a lot of addiction, deadly eating disorders, and so forth. And a lot of this, I am not enough is something that I've taken a lot of effort to overcome. And I know it's so common for so many people. And you touched on that. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit more. I mean, you've said about people who have these maladaptive behaviors, they don't feel enough. And so they're looking for control. They're looking for another pair of shoes. They're all outside of themselves. Is there anything else that you would say to people who experience these kind of compulsive eating disorders, sex disorders, and so forth, that RTT can help them just get really real and take that step?
I got so many audios and videos on YouTube and Instagram that you can go to. But of course, if you can just remember, you're coming at it from, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And you have to ask the question, were you born with this? The answer is no. I have a great friend called Sammy Shoebox. He's a DJ. It's called that because he was put in a shoebox and dumped on a rubbish tip in the Philippines. And he cried, I think, for the whole day because people went to work and heard this kind of mewing, thought it was a cat. When they came back, it was still going on. And somebody went and found a little shoebox and there was a little newborn baby. He came to America, got adopted, and has now got his own child, a beautiful wife, a great life. But he's alive for one reason. He didn't think, oh, no one's coming, I should just lie here. Baby is certain. You're going to look after them because they have to believe I'm worth it. You bring your baby home. If they want to cry all night, they're crying because they know I'm worthy of your attention. And not just a baby. I mean, I've rescued so many cats and dogs, and they're the same. They come and sit on your knee. They wrap themselves around your leg. They go, well, you're going to feed me and love me because guess what? I'm worth it. So if a cat can do it, you can do it. If a tiny baby can hold on to their enoughness long enough to be rescued, then you can do it. So just start to say it and remember. The mind learns by repetition. Of course, you don't believe it and you doubt it, but if you just repeat it over and over again, it will sink in. It will make an impact. The mind learns by repetition, and the mind likes what is familiar. It is your job to make good stuff familiar. While you're doing that, guess what? You're making bad stuff unfamiliar. You're saying every day, I'm enough. You're not saying I'm not enough. So the brain is hardwired to go back to what is familiar and known while avoiding what is unfamiliar and unknown. That is a fact, but here's another fact. You can make anything familiar. You can put some silicone on your finger and shove it in your eye every day until it's the most normal thing in the world. So your job is to say, I'm enough, I matter, I'm lovable, I'm significant. Don't worry about doubting it. Just keep saying it, because what will happen is it will become familiar. It'll become comfortable. You'll run out of objections, and by repetition, it will absolutely work. It always works because the mind doesn't think, it just feels, and it feels the emotion. And when you say I'm enough, you might find you feel tearful. You might find you feel angry. You might find you feel, that's silly on Marisa Peer. This is just woo-woo. It's actually not. It's quantum physics. So if you feel silly, angry, tearful, or dismissive, it means one thing. It just means you haven't yet made it familiar. Keep doing it, and guess what? You will. It's like you riding a bike. Peeing in the toilet wasn't familiar once. No one says, oh, I never got grips with that. I have a picture of my daughter the first time she had a banana. It's in her hair. It's not in her mouth. But she didn't say, yeah, I never got to grips with eating through it. I still have to be fed. We can make anything familiar. Swimming, riding a bike, even I got out my BlackBerry one day. I thought, I don't even know how I use this thing. I had no idea. I kept it for a reason. I put it out the door. I thought, I used that for 2 years, and now I don't know what any of those keys mean. Because when I moved to an Apple phone, I forgot how to operate a BlackBerry completely. And if any of you get out your offer, it's so funny. I don't remember my first phone number. I obviously recited it a lot. I have no idea what it was. Because I made the new one familiar and the old one unfamiliar. And that's all you have to do. If you want to change your life, do one thing. Make good stuff familiar, especially praise. And make bad stuff unfamiliar, especially criticism. And when we talk about manifesting, here's something else. You never manifest what you want. You manifest what you think you are worth. So all the manifesting won't work until you go, I'm worth it. So people get so hung up on manifesting and how complicated it is. It's not complicated. You will only ever manifest what you think you are worth. So again, that's why saying I'm worth it is a precursor to being a great manifestor. You've got to do the work first. I'm worth it, but it's not work. We all talk to ourselves every day, so you do something you already do, just more effectively. But when you say I'm worth it, you're leading up to being a phenomenal manifester. Because if you know you're worth it, that's what you're going to manifest.
Well, I'd love you led us right into the perfect next section on manifestation and confidence and putting it into practice. But I want to just share one last observation. I mean, I've said it now at least 3 times with a lot of enthusiasm about, oh my gosh, could it be this simple? And Marisa, you're saying it not only could it be, it is this simple and it works. You've been doing this for 3 decades. You've helped all these extraordinary people, no one's ordinary, all these amazing people. And for anybody who just still has a little shred of doubt, it's like, I feel like we're so conditioned that things need to be hard, that psychotherapy needs to take 5 years and $10,000 or whatever. The fact that this is something you can do so easily. And even Marisa, I love how it's like, don't do it 500 times, because if it's hard, you won't do it. That it is this easy and it can feel so good and be effective. It's just so antithetical to how we think about progress, hard work, homework, right? You got to grind, you got to hustle. So, to me, this whole business of manifesting like a baddie, like letting it be simple, letting it feel good in the ways that you described. Marisa, I love it. And guys, I hope you're feeling as on fire as I am listening to Marisa, being completely convinced that this is where everything changes for you. Because I know I am going to adopt it. I've made a lot of progress, but I got even more opportunity for growth and love in my life, thanks to feeling more than enough.
I attract abundance. I live an abundant life. I'm attracting more and more abundance. I'm living in an abundance of health and wealth.
So let's turn into manifestation and confidence. What is and I heard you loud and clear that you manifest what you think you're worthy of. So the half an hour we spent or 40 minutes we've spent on being enough, that is so foundational. So let's presume everybody's doing that now. What is next? You've got a 3-step manifestation process. Will you walk us through that?
The first step, because 80% of success comes by having this I'm worth it mindset. 80% of your success comes down to having a mindset that says I'm worth it, I'm worth it, I'm worth it. So if we know that to be true, and it is true, your first thing, and it's not work, your first piece of joy, let's call it joy, is to say I'm worth it every day. Spend a little time just saying I'm worth it, I'm enough, I deserve it, just that. Write it on your t-shirt, write it on your underwear, write it on your fridge, write it, but don't just look at it, you've got to say it. And don't just say it, state it, affirm it, embody it. I'm worth it, I'm enough, I'm lovable. So you need to say that over and over again, not 500 times, maybe 20 times a day. Very simple. When you're driving the car, what else are you going to do? When you're in the back of an Uber, again, when you're boiling the kettle, making the coffee, when you're in the shower, I'm worth it, I'm enough, I deserve it. I'm worth it, I'm enough, I deserve it. As you're doing that, which is step 1, and I'm going to take you through that, as you do that, Of course, you'll think, well, I'm not really worth it. I don't really deserve it. But you keep doing it anyway. Just keep going. Just
overcome.
Mm-hmm. And eventually it will just click. Rather like, when you go to the gym, you go, hey, I did just 600 sit-ups. Where's my flat stomach? You go back and you think, oh, I can see it now. I was getting married. I was doing a lot of push-ups. One day I could really see the deafening in my arms, but I didn't see it at first. But somehow 7 weeks in, I thought, oh, yeah, my arms have changed shape completely because I kept doing those press-ups, which I hated, by the way. But I had to get into a sleeveless, very unforgiving dress, so I did it. So the first thing is, but this is joy. I'm worth it. I deserve it. I'm lovable. I'm enough. I'm worth it. I deserve it. I'm lovable. I'm enough. Just say
not work. Joy, people.
Yep. And get your kids to do it too. Sit around the table and say it together. Go, oh, Mum, not that again. But they'll actually say, oh, Mum, you forgot to do it today, because they actually like it. While you're doing that, which is step one, we're going to move on to step two. Step two is thinking about what you want. What is it that you, and I change the word want to require. What do you require? You might say, I require to write a book, or I require to be an amazing chef. I require to be a parent. I require to find love. So you've got to really notice, what does that look like? If you can't see it, how are you going to achieve it? So the second step is really seeing what you require. And as you see it, you're going to see something else. What is what you require of you? Writing a book requires a lot of solitude. Being a parent requires a lot of patience. It's amazing how many people I work with say, I want a baby. We never have sex. I'm going straight for IVF because it's quicker. It's not quicker. It takes 4 minutes to have sex. But it's a big thing now. Women are going straight to IVF because they see it as an easier way, but it's actually a harder, more expensive way. So what you require, I require love. What are you doing to find love? What do you mean? Well, where are you going? I'm not going anywhere. I thought you said you required love. I do. But if you required a house, wouldn't you be out there looking? But you require love and you're not getting off the couch. So ask yourself the question, what I require, what does it require of me? And then the third step is to do it. So, for instance, my daughter said one day, I said, darling, she said, Mummy, I could never have a normal job. I'm going to be an artist. I said, that's good. Do you want to be an artist or a successful artist? Because many artists are not. Do you want to be successful? Sell a lot of paintings? I want that. I said, okay. That's what you require. What does it require of you? And she knew what it required of her. She was very reluctant to go, well, I've got to walk around town and take my pictures into a gallery, which she did not want. She came up with so many reasons why she couldn't do it. They're too big. She couldn't cart them around town. I said, well, take one and put the rest on an iPad. Oh, it's too uncomfortable. I said, look, if you want it, you got to, people who make it do what they don't want to do. So we're now very clear. You know what you require. You know what it requires of you, something you do not want to do. But if you require it, you got to do it. It's called JFD. Just freaking do it. I don't want to sit at home writing, but I make myself. I don't want to have broccoli instead of potato chips, but I sometimes make myself.
JFD.
Anyway, so the third step is do it. So off she went with a huge painting under her arm and an iPad. And she was very uncomfortable. She went into a gallery. They said, oh, no. That's not our style at all. We would never buy that. And as she was leaving, they said, but over there's a gallery, they would love it. And when she went there, I was very glad the first one said no, because it gave her some grit. The second one, when she left, it was hanging up in their window. They loved it. So she learned very quickly, I'm worth it. I deserve to have my paintings in the window of the gallery. Okay, that was the I'm worth it. What do I require to have my paintings there? What does it require of me? That uncomfortableness of going out there, putting myself out there and taking my paintings around town. But it worked for her. She had them in a gallery and we already took pictures of them in the window and it was very exciting. So if you require love, well, what does that look like? Where is this love? It's not in your yoga class. It's full of guys. You need to go to a golf club instead, or a poker club, or you've got to be very proactive about what I want to manifest love. But it's not going to fall out of your shower. I want to manifest wealth. I'm going to manifest money. But here's the question. What are you going to do to manifest wealth? What you require, what does it require of you? What are you going to create or invent or improve? And amazingly, the fastest way to make money is not to invent anything. It's to improve something. We know Lululemon did not invent little black stretchy leggings, but she certainly invented how to sell them for $200 a pop. Dyson didn't invent a hairdryer, but he managed to sell them for like $700 and people loved them.
Well, how about Spanx? Can we just talk about the brilliant Sarah Blakely? There were girdles and shapewear. It wasn't even called shapewear, but you look at her early.
Yeah, of course. Spanx. And then, of course, Kim Kardashian had Skims. Even Starbucks, did they invent coffee? Of course not. They invented a new way of promoting it. So if you want to be wealthy, think of something you could improve. What is out there? I mean, look at the girl who invented eyebrow shaping, Anastasia, with that eyebrow shaping. Who would have thought you could make a fortune selling bottles of water? Look at that drink, Prime, last year. And look at the Labu, what are they called? Labulus? The Labubus. I mean, it's crazy what people can create that will generate wealth. But those people, first of all, have a belief, I'm going to create something and sell it. Everyone's going to love it. So again, it's I'm worth it. We'll go through it. We'll do it. Actually, it's I'm worth it. What does it look like? And so many people do the first one, they never do the third one. Or some people do the third one and they never do the first two. I'm going to go out and sell this product, but they've never worked on the worth that you've got to do all three. And it has to be in that sequence. First one, 80% of it is the mindset of I'm worth it, I deserve it. You know, there's a great story of Celine Dion when she was just 14 who sent an audio cassette, Soundline cassette, to Sony. And then she called and said, do you like my music? They said, no. She goes, you never listened to it. She said, if you played my music, you would sign me on the spot. They were so shocked by the confidence in her voice that they found it, played it, and signed her on the spot. Because she had I'm worth it. When they said we don't like it, she said, no, you haven't played it. I don't believe you would never reject my voice. And that's okay. You haven't played it, but you can play it. And then you'll sign me. And they went, okay. Because she told them she was good. And again, we wait for people to say, you're good. We have to go, I'm good. I'm good. Someone said to Meryl Streep once, Meryl, you will never make it because you're not beautiful. She said, well, that's your opinion. In a sea of opinions, I'll get another opinion. And actually, she might not be a great beauty. If you ever saw Out of Africa with Robert Redford washing her hair in the bath, she was so beautiful. But she played Margaret Thatcher. I don't think beauty was necessary to play that part. But there are many people who have been rejected, like Danny DeVito. And Whoopi Goldberg was told, you'll never, ever make it. She got an Oscar. So the most important opinion is your opinion. Don't let someone else say. Demi Moore said, she said recently, I was told I wasn't enough. But the problem is, Demi, you have to tell yourself it's not someone else's job, it's your job. So when they said she wasn't enough, she'd always be a popcorn actress. What is so sad is she let that in for years. But it was actually her job to go, not enough? Why don't I show you who I am and what I can do?
Yeah, I just want to interject there, Marisa, and say to our audience, this is your job. And that is great news. And I love how you even reframed, the hard work to the joy. I mean, and so often we're in this somehow suffused with this victim mentality, thinking it's my husband's job, it's my parents' job, it's my, my kids, like my work, like somehow in much of the world, this idea of somebody's supposed to do this for me is crippling. And it feels so, just even speaking these words, it feels so obvious and insidious and so wrong. And I really wanted to home in on what you were saying. This is our job. Yeah, we shouldn't wait. And not only should we not wait, even if with all these famous, Marilyn Monroe is such a great example, the beautiful, most iconic woman of history practically, died tragically. All these people loved her. All these people admired her, but it wasn't enough. So even if everybody tells you how enough you are.
Yeah, because the person who didn't tell her was her. Same with Princess Diana. Everybody loved her, but she never really felt worthy of that love. So it's your job to work on yourself. Self-esteem means what you think of you. If I say I hold you in the highest esteem, I esteem you, but self-esteem is what I think of me. And it is your job to raise your self-esteem. And the fastest way is by praising yourself. Studies have shown that praise boosts your self-esteem faster than anything else. So saying I'm worth it, I deserve it, I'm lovable, I matter, I'm significant, that will give you everything. And it is your job. And isn't that great news? Because you can do that job and you can do
that is the best news. Like it is the best news.
Yeah, no one else can do it as well as you. And again, it's always the same. I'm enough. I'm lovable. I like myself. I matter. I've got something great to offer the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting, and not to go on too much of a tangent, but part of me is like, God, you're right. It's inside of us. It's that easy. And all I can say, and I do want to make sure we have time to go through an RTT demo. The only thing I can think of is between, our capitalistic system that's constantly, advertising and so forth, reminding us that we're not enough, social media reminding us that we're not enough. I mean, it just feels like systemically there's a lot in society that has been, and then of course generational trauma and alcoholism and all these things that riddle through so many of our families that okay, listen, you're off the hook as far as why you haven't gotten the memo till now, fine, but you've got the memo now, everybody. You've got it. And Marisa, really, I'm just, I'm so grateful for how clear you are and how simple and joyful you make this practice. So I'd love to have you walk me through a demo, an RTT demo.
Okay, so let's do it right now. So when hypnosis is really just using your alpha brainwave, where you're very, very receptive to suggestions, good suggestions. And to get into alpha, you do one thing. You roll up your eyes like that, keep them up and close the lids down. Just what you do when you go to sleep at night. So look up, pretend you're trying to look into your own eye, but keep your eyes open and look up as high as you can and breathe in and out 3 times. Just breathe in and out. Every time you blink, deep, powerful hypnosis is coming upon you. Breathe in, breathe out. And just one more time, breathe in, keep your eyeballs up, keeping your eyeballs up. As you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. Now just forget about the position of your eyeballs. It doesn't matter at all. Just drop your chin and just imagine you're looking down 10 steps. You have that same looking down feeling that you might get as you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. You are looking down 10 steps. You're moving onto step 10. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9 and 8, and you can see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet treading each step. As you move down, drift down, travel down to an even deeper level, you are taking step 7, going deeper with every sound you hear as you take step 6. The sound of your heartbeat is taking you deeper as you take step 5. The sound of your breathing is taking you deeper as you take step 4. Every sound and noise is flowing through you, taking you deeper into an awareness of yourself. As you take step 3, the sound of my voice is taking you deeper, deeper, deeper. You're taking step 2 and 1. As you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. Just go deeper, deeper, deeper. Every time I click my fingers and say the words, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. You're going deeper into an awareness of yourself. And as you go deeper, I want you to imagine that you're looking at a movie of your life today. And you're pressing rewind, and that movie of your life is going backwards, backwards, backwards. It's rather like you're in a time tunnel going backwards, traveling backwards, moving backwards, all the way back. And all of a sudden, that movie stops. It's like you're being pulled backwards, and suddenly it stops, and you're standing outside your childhood home. And you are drawn like a magnet to the bedroom door of the bedroom you slept in, and you're reaching out your hand, touching that bedroom handle, knowing on the other side of that door is you as a young child. You're about to go into that room and meet the young version of you who bought into not being enough. And the young child in that room waiting for you knows that you are the adult version of them. And as you step in that room, there they are, the child version of you. And you and that child have a complete, total, absolute, a beautiful affinity with each other. You understand each other. You trust each other. You know that you're the same person, the adult and the child, and you're going to ask that child one question. They're going to immediately tell you the answer. I want you to ask that child one thing. When did you begin to believe you're not enough? When did you start to think you were not enough? And why? Why did you ever think you're not enough? Why did you think you're not enough? And when? What happened to you? What is it you saw or heard or felt or experienced that made you believe you're not enough? And I want you to keep asking the question and noticing the answer. Oh, yeah. What happened to me that made me feel I was not enough? What did I see? What did I hear? What did I experience? What did I believe? And as you get the answers, I want you to scoop that child up in your arms. I want you to take them back to wherever you live today. I want you to take them to another front door, the front door of the home you live in now. And as you walk them through the door, I want you to repeat word for word some things I'm about to say. Just repeat every word. I want you to start by saying out loud, if you want to, I'm becoming a loving parent to you now.
I'm becoming a loving parent to you now.
I want you to repeat, no one in the world can play this role of loving parent to you like I can.
No one can play this role of a loving parent to you like I can.
I love you completely.
I love you completely.
I love you unconditionally.
I love you unconditionally.
I'll always have time for you.
I'll always have time for you.
I'll always listen to you.
I'll always listen to you.
You and I have balance now.
You and I have balance now.
There's nothing we can't do.
There's nothing we can't do.
I think you're amazing.
I think you're amazing.
I know you're enough.
I know you're enough.
You're worthy of love.
You're worthy of love.
Success.
Success.
You're worthy of joy.
You're worthy of joy.
You're worth everything.
You're worth everything.
And I want you to imagine taking that child into the home you live in now and saying, I'm upgrading you into my world.
I'm upgrading you into my world.
And this is a nicer, better, safer place.
And this is a nicer, safer, better place.
And now you live with me in my world.
And now you live with me in my world.
You can't go back to that other world.
You can't go back to that other world.
Not even in your daydreams.
Not even in your daydreams.
You can't go back.
You can't go back.
You can only go forwards.
You can only go forwards.
So showing that child all the things in your home, you probably have Alexa, some Sonos, a smart TV, a smart home. You didn't have when you were a kid, but you have them now. And you went out and got them. And you can have everything. So I want you to imagine looking at your living room, your bedroom, with the clothes in your closet that you didn't have access to when you were a kid. The food in your kitchen that you can eat whenever you want to. The products in your bathroom that you got. And I want you to hold that child again. And I want you to say, you matter.
You matter.
You're enough.
You're enough.
You're lovable.
You're lovable.
You're significant.
You're significant.
You're worth it.
You're worth it.
And now I want you to say the opposite. I want you to imagine that child is merging into you, taking up residence, living in you. You can feel that child living in you, living in your body. You've created a place in your heart, in your body, in your life. You have created a place in your heart, in your body, in your life, in your world for that child. And as they take up residence in your heart, your body, your life, as they merge into you, as they live in you, you can never go back to that other world. You can only go forwards. So now I want you to say, I matter.
I matter.
I'm enough.
I'm enough.
I'm lovable.
I am lovable.
I'm worth it.
I am worth it.
And again, I want you to really state it, embody it, affirm it. I matter.
I matter.
I'm lovable.
I am lovable.
I'm enough.
I'm enough.
I'm worth it.
I'm worth it.
I want you to shout it out. I matter.
I matter.
I'm lovable.
I'm lovable.
I'm enough.
I'm enough.
And I'm worth it.
And I'm worth it.
And this time, I want you to notice how you feel in your body as you say it. So one more time, but really tune into how you feel as you say, I matter.
I matter.
I'm lovable.
I'm lovable.
I'm enough.
I'm enough.
And I'm worth it.
And I'm worth it.
And tell me how you feel. How do you feel? Because there's 5 feelings as well. I love this. It's great. I'm going to do it again. Or there's, well, I feel a bit silly. Isn't this woo? Or I feel tearful, or I feel angry, or I'm just not sure. So one of the 5, I love it.
I love it. I feel incredible. I felt you could see maybe a couple tears fall in the earlier phase. And should I keep my eyes closed or should I? Not sure. I want to stay. Okay.
And the reason I'm asking is when other people do this, they're going to have one of those 5 things. It feels great. It feels sad, and I'm tearful because I haven't let it in. I feel angry and dismissive. Oh, it's just silly old woo. I'm actually scared of change. So whatever you've got, if you haven't got the first one, which you have, fortunately, it doesn't matter. It just means you've got to do it more until you go straight to number 1. I love it, and I'm doing it again. So now that you're working on I'm worth it, I want you to go on to step 2. I want you to think of something, Andrea, that you require. You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but think of something you require. Remember, you can manifest only what you think you're worth. What would you love to manifest? What do you require? Imagine you can see it. It's on a screen. You can see the thing that you require so much. You can see it clearly. I'm going to ask you just one question. What you require, what does it require of you?
Yeah. Believing in myself.
Oh. Which is wonderful because that's the easy, joyful thing to do. I believe in myself. Say it every day. Say it, state it. So what you require is to believe in yourself. You've worked on your sense of self-worth. You require something which is phenomenal self-belief. So the step 2, we're going to stay in step 2 for a minute. Step 2 is I'm worth it, I'm worth it. And that's an ongoing step that even as you're doing step 2 and 3, you're still constantly working on step 1. Step 2 is taking a long look at the thing you require and getting very clear what I require. What does it require of me? What do I have to do? What do I have to do or be or become? Because manifesting does require work. I've never met a manifestor ever who didn't do any work. They go, I've got this vision. I'm going to invent. I'm James Starr. I'm going to invent a hairdryer. And I'm going to go through a lot of different things. I'm going to charge $700 for that hairdryer. I'm going to say it's the best in the world. I'm Lululemon. I'm Sarah Blakely inventing Spanx, but I'm going to do the work. So step 2 is seeing what you require, knowing you're worth it and knowing that there is work required. And step 3 is to go ahead and do the work. Step 3 is to go ahead and do it. So if you require, for instance, to be a famous chef, well, the first step is to say, I'm worth it, to get a job in a restaurant. You probably won't be doing much at all, but when you stay there, eventually you can become a famous chef, but you'll be doing prep and ordering and running your own restaurant. But you can do it if you can see the steps and apply them. So manifesting is you manifest what you think you are worth. You must be willing to do a lot of work. And finally, you cannot manifest from a place of scarcity. I daren't make the call in case they don't like me. I don't want to ask that person out in case they say no. I'm scared of showing the world my invention in case they don't like it. I'm holding on to old stuff, makeup that's 10 years old, clothes I'll never wear again. I have scarcity habits and scarcity thoughts. You can never manifest a place of scarcity. So go into the newness. You know what you have to do. I want you to see yourself doing it now. I want you to really see yourself doing what is required of you. And absolutely not from a place of scarcity. And see that little child with you, living in your heart, living in your body, having merged into you. You see, your childhood is behind you. Your childhood is a bow. And you, Andrea, are an arrow. And an arrow uses the bow for one thing, to get as far away from it as it can. So if you were to put an arrow into a bow, into firing, we all run to see the arrow. How far did it go? How fast? How sleek? No one says, where's the bow? Because the bow's done its job. Your past is a bow, and you are an arrow, and you can go far and fast and sleek. But you've got to leave the past behind, because it's behind you. You're not going there. It's behind you. It's gone. You're an arrow. You know you're worth it. You continue to work on your worth. It's saying it, stating it, affirming it, embodying it. You're continuing to see what you require, what it requires of you, and then you are doing the application, because manifesting requires application. I'm doing the work of I'm worth it. I can see what I want. The third step is application. The best plan will never work if you don't. Books don't write themselves. People don't bump into strangers in the night when they're staying at home watching Netflix. You don't get a six-pack without going to the gym. And people can't buy your products or know who you are, where you are, if you're staying at home. So if you want love, wealth, success, joy, you can have it all with bells on. If you know you're worth it, you know what it requires of you, you do the application, you apply yourself, and you move away from scarcity thoughts and scarcity habits. That's all you have to do. It's fun. It's easy. It works. And it's what I call JFD. Just freaking do it. So now you can open your eyes. I'm glad that you loved saying that. That's so important. So you can see what you're going to do now, can't you?
See it and feel it.
And that's
that feeling is, it's powerful.
And the great thing is you gave it to yourself. So the application and no scarcity, throw away the old makeup and the clothes you're never going to wear again. Women especially now, just keep that. It might come back into fashion. I hate that lipstick, but I don't want to throw it away because, I bought it. We even keep old stuff in the fridge, Men too, but women especially bad at holding on to products. Mind you, my husband's got 100 chargers. I said, what are these chargers for? We're never going to throw them away. He loves keeping plugs and adapters and chargers. Every outdated laptop is piled up. In fact, when I go back, I'm going to get rid of all of them. But we've got to get rid of you. So it's simple, very simple. I'm worth it. What I require, what does it require of me? Apply myself and do all of it not with scarcity thoughts, beliefs, or habits.
Well, that was magnificent. And I hope everybody did it. And honestly, I'm so grateful. And I know you guys can find Marisa elsewhere. You can come back to this recording. But it was so powerful, Marisa. Thank you. And I wanted to add with the scarcity, the throwing away the old makeup or socks or adapters. I mean, to me, there's something really like the act of doing that, the act of letting go, like that physical act of letting go, right? And it's letting go of those limiting beliefs, letting go of the scarcity mindset, the not enough mindset. And it feels like there is something, even every now and then I'll lose something and it'll be like something I really love.
I can see myself into my husband's office with that song from Frozen, Let It Go.
Yes.
Who needs all these tables anyway?
Well, totally. And that free feeling of just freedom to say, I'm going to let go of these things that don't serve me. And they're so, the
things and the thoughts, not just things, but thoughts, beliefs. You make your habits make you. So let go of stuff. The most important was to let go. Let it all go, and then you'll be a master, majestic, magnificent manifester.
Amen to that. All right, we'll wrap up. You've been so generous with your time. Thank you. And
Thank you so
even
much.
more than your time, it's your wisdom and care and just supreme clarity, Marisa. It really, it's wow. This is a wow for me. guys. I hope it's a wow for you. Okay, so Marisa, you often say when you change your words, you change your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, you change your life. That has been the thesis of this wonderful discussion. Any last comments before we wrap up?
You change your words, which change your feelings, which changes your actions, which changes your outcome. So it's thoughts, feelings, actions, outcome. And just know you're enough. That's a great thought, a great feeling, a great outcome, and a great action. And go ahead and do what Andrea did. Be the person who says, instead of watching it, I'm doing it. Sometimes the things that change your life take 5 minutes. Sometimes the results we get are out of all proportion to what we do. RTT is designed to have rapid change in minutes. Because how long does it take to change your life? Well, it can take 21 seconds. Every day you get the chance to change twice. Every day you can change a thought, which changes a belief, which changes a feeling and an action. So you can change every day and you can keep the change. Start right now. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love it. Last question for somebody who says, for a lot of people who say, I would love to have an RTT trained therapist do this with me. What's the best place for them to find that kind of person?
Go to RTT.com or innerbelief.com. There are 2 platforms we have, RTT.com and innerbelief.com, where you can find
put that on
a
the screen.
therapist who's going to help you. And they're very good.
Yeah. And I know you're personally training them. Is it for people who live in remote places? Do they have to?
You can do it online. No,
you can do it online.
Therapy is great. Online therapy is amazing. I do it all the time.
Amazing. Marisa Peer, you are such a gift. Thank you for being in the power of manifestation, for all the work you do, and for just creating this I Am Enough movement.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and a joy. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Okay, you guys, I hope that was as magnificent and powerful for you as it was for me. I really hope you did the exercise. Oh my gosh. And I have to say, if you want to be able to go back and do this exercise at any point, I urge you to upgrade to our VIP package so you can own this session and all the sessions in the power of manifestation. Fast forward, rewind, pause, reflect. This one in particular, I mean, all of them are amazing, of course, but this one in particular, when I think about the opportunity to be able to come back to it and have Marisa guide you directly, it's worth the price of admission. In addition to VIP, as always, I'm so excited to invite you into our new Power of Manifestation Circle. This is a membership that we are just in the process of launching. I urge you to become and be a pioneer member and tap into techniques like this. And I know I said it a few times, but oh my gosh, yes, it can be this simple. And when I think about the amazing people like Marisa that I'm so excited to bring to the membership and teach me and teach you and help all of us and each other, right? I mean, gosh, I'm looking forward to all sorts of members saying, you know what, I tried this thing, or I read this book, or I listened to this podcast, or whatever it is, that as a community, we're healing and transforming together. And honestly, it makes it more fun. And just final last thing, when I think about Marisa and her whole point of being able to do it with ease and joy, and whether it's becoming a chef or manifesting the love of your life or whatever it is that you're manifesting, what is so beautiful to me in Marisa's approach and a lot of the speakers in this event is not just focusing on the outcome, getting the love of your life, your dream job. The thing is going about it in a way that feels great. That, to me, this idea that the journey is the destination is so powerful. And it's just the kind of, in part is why I'm excited to bring this membership to you, because together, having the opportunity to be on this journey together, yes, to realize the big outcomes, and every single day to feel joy, to feel gratitude, and from time to time where it feels a little harder, where we feel like we're backsliding, that's all part of the process. So that's it. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Mwah! Thanks for tuning in to, oh my gosh, this is one of my, guys, I'm not joking, like one of my favorite titles Manifest like a baddie, unlock confidence, love, health, and abundance fast with RTT. I hope we delivered it. See you at the next session. Thanks. Bye.